Hello and welcome back to the Daily Breaking News YouTube channel. The Russian army's condition against the Ukrainian armed forces was deteriorating by the day. The region of Ukraine, where the Russian army intervened on February 24, was projected to seize Kiev within 3 days and finish when control of Ukraine was totally under Russian authority. Under the command of the Spetsnaz Special Forces and the VDV Special Air Forces, the Russian master plan assumed that the Ukrainian defense would be quickly broken. However, according to the most recent British intelligence analysis, this Russian strategy did not unfold in this manner. According to reports, the Russian army lost the majority of its elite forces in Ukraine owing to unanticipated Ukrainian resistance and discord among commanders. It has long been known that there is a widespread discontent at nearly every rank of the Russian army. Putin is said to have attempted to invade Ukraine in order to further his aspirations, and the Russian army incurred thousands of losses. As a result of the Russian military's unfavorable conditions in Ukraine, the morale is rising at the same time. According to the UK Ministry of Defense, the inability to foresee Ukrainian opposition and the resulting apathy of Russian leadership led to substantial casualties in several of Russia's most elite troops. According to the research, difficulties with the work of Russia's elite Spetsnaz forces, or VDV, in Ukraine demonstrate how unstable Russia's military is in the manner it invests in itself. The defeat was attributed to a strategic error by the Russian army, according to the continuing statement. VDV, Russia's Special Forces unit, is a select group of airborne troops specializing in swiftly conquering critical sites by parachute or helicopter launch, and their standing in the Russian military means they are frequently utilized as a fast response force. According to reports, following the recurrent failures of Spetsnaz and airborne troops, Russia's elite units experienced a significant loss of confidence. In the continuance of their statement on the failure and casualties of Russian special forces, the British Ministry of Defense said that Russia's airborne troops have been extensively implicated in several major tactical errors from the beginning of the invasion of Russia. This includes an effort to advance in Kiev via Hostomel Airport in March, and Russian operations' recent failed and costly crossings of the Seversky Donets River. Russian special troops have been dispatched to the region to be used in the most special missions. There are considerably over 4,000 to 5,000 of these special units. We're talking about around 4,000 to 5,000 Russian soldiers who have been properly trained and contracted. In this case, the Russian High Command used the VDV as shock soldiers, assigning them the most difficult duties to pave the way for regular Russian forces. However, the VDV was not designed to be used as mechanized infantry, resulting in significant losses. The loss of so many elite units would undoubtedly have a significant influence on Russia's long-term military capabilities. Known as Glavnoy Razvedivnoy Upravlenie, or GRU, the Russian Military Intelligence Service, the Spetsnaz, or Spetsnaz GRU, is known as the Special Forces of the Russian Armed Forces Primary Directorate of General Staff. Apart from agents, there are already around 17,000 Spetsnaz. This military intelligence service has its own commando force known as Spetsnaz. Special units of the Spetsnaz participate in top-secret missions, including reconnaissance, sabotage, operational intelligence, political warfare, and counterterrorism. The term Spetsnaz translates as special designation and refers to Russia's elite military units. Spetsnaz forces employ highly specialized and classified military equipment. It is also known that the majority of the Spetsnaz special troops dispatched to Ukraine had combat experience in a variety of countries, including Syria. However, the neutralization or annihilation of many of them in Ukraine indicates Russia's tactical failure. Russia has already suffered significant losses in Ukraine. Tanks and armored vehicles, as well as Russian bombers and ships, account for the great bulk of these casualties. After 6 rounds of sanctions, Russia is severely hampered by the inability to compensate for these losses. These sanctions have resulted in the full collapse of Russian industry and the cessation of most industrial operations. Given Russia's continuing hostility, it may only be a matter of time until the 7th round of sanctions is applied. As a result, while eliminating the mechanical weakness in the Russian army will take time, losing professional troops in such a large group appears unlikely in such a short period of time, given the time it will take to train these soldiers here. British military intelligence shows Russia's weakness and inexperienced army administration, which is riddled with strategic errors. The Russian VDV was utilized in tasks that were better suited for heavier armored infantry, and so they suffered severe losses during the battle. The VDV misuse in Ukraine demonstrates how Putin's considerable investment in the military forces over the last 15 years has resulted in an unstable overall force. The unpredictability of Ukraine's resistance, along with Russian commanders' subsequent complacency, resulted in severe deaths in several of Russia's most elite forces. According to British military intelligence, Russia's inconsistent performance is likely due to strategic mishandling of this capacity, as well as Russia's failure to sustain air supremacy. The largest mistake here appears to be strategic errors in the Russian army, but it is not. The most essential fact is that the Ukrainian army is prepared for this and is capable of resisting and defeating Russian special troops. Let's go through the VDV forces in further depth. This unit, which is part of the Russian army, serves as a strategic reserve. The most essential objective of this union in general is to be the first to respond to an unanticipated crisis. The VDV forces were modernized in 2015, and the overall number of men is expected to reach 60,000. However, when the invasion of Ukraine began, this aim was not met, and the VDV troops consisted of only 4,000 to 5,000 skilled men. The VDV is split into divisions and brigades, and like the rest of the Russian army, is deployed as battalion tactical groupings on the ground. The VDV battalion tactical units, on the other hand, should not be confused with the notion of airborne in the West, since they differ substantially. Tanks, armored personnel carriers, and infantry fighting vehicles are commonly seen in VDV battalion tactical groups, implying that they are mechanized infantry or armored units. It is also natural for this group, which resembles infantry formations at times, to feel perplexed. We discussed Spetsnaz and airborne soldiers in Ukraine, but we also need to discuss the current situation in Ukraine. With each passing day, the Russian army suffers increasingly severe blows in the east, and its casualties in the conflict mount. According to Ukrainian Defense Ministry figures, the Russian army is approaching a dark moment after losing more than 30,000 personnel and roughly 1,400 tanks. All this loss cannot really be compensated for. Putin will suffer the brunt of the repercussions of this deterioration because new issues for Putin have arisen outside of Ukraine. Russia, which attacked Ukraine because of Ukraine's NATO membership, was compelled to keep mute when Sweden and Finland, both of which have significantly more advanced weapon systems, filed official NATO applications. The fundamental reason for this appears to be the damage done by Russia's multiple losses in Ukraine. Hundreds of top military officials were killed when the Russian army was forced back to the Russian border in the Kharkiv area. At the same time, after planning to battle on a 500-kilometer-long line in the Donbas, the Russian army has recently restricted its goal by focusing on much smaller targets. Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, now simply wants to announce a minor win to the Russian people. However, for the time being, this is little more than a pipe dream in Ukraine, given that even its most elite special forces have suffered crushing setbacks in the region. It is unclear if Russia would make a fresh move and worsen its casualties in the Ukraine war by merely displaying might.